because their parents are coming home. I was trying to time out a whole bunch of things today, so they'll be home in a couple hours, it seems, and walked them. Hopefully, all is okay. And I decided I really wanted slices, vegetarian veggie slices from Whole Foods. And I was like, I'll do this because I was going to Skype with Adam and have sort of a celebration, if you will. And I was like, oh, I'll treat myself to a veggie slice of pizza. And usually at South Street Whole Foods, they have like caramelized onion, mushroom, and like one other vegetarian option. They had no pizzas up and ready just to take slices. Now, of course, the slices are a little bit expensive. So technically, if you got 2 slices, it would be $7. They're big slices, though, so I will give them that. But like $3.50 each, or $3.99 for 1 slice, or 2 slices, $7. So when I got there, no ready-made slices. Completely wiped clean, as if someone knew already that I would thought this in my brain that I wanted to get it. It's hard to explain because I've been through a whole process. In fact, speaking of, it's not a ginger ale can, or it is. It's a Canada Rye. That's a little bit different, but in the past I was weaned off of sodas, and it's kind of weird. They would know my routines, whoever they are, and in a way, the inventory wouldn't be available, so I would have to choose other things. Like say Canada Dry is what I drank, which is caffeine free. I was weaned down to Diet Canada Dry, and then it got to a point where only natural organic sodas like Zevia or Hansen's. And, optimally, like maybe sparkling water or what have you. Hi, Joe. So that happened after 2011. Hello, Joe. The thing is, I had actually given up sodas a long time ago on my weight loss journey in the 90s. I drank Pepsi very, often enough. It was it's an addiction, that sort of sugary, I guess this is open Loch Bar, like Loch Ness Monster. So they've finally opened this here at the Alt House, across from Kimmel Center. And I guess it's like a special opening because they have everyone here. But anyway, so in the 90s, I kind of went through a weight loss journey and sort of did it on my own. It was a struggle. And I hadn't had sodas in a long time, but somewhere in the early 2000s, I wound up getting a Coca-Cola, like at a restaurant. I got a fountain Coca-Cola because it was I don't know why, I really wanted one for some reason. So I was still drinking Coca-Cola sometimes. Anyway, after 2011, it took a while, but into 2012 was when the weaning off process began. So this pizza situation, I got a whole pie for $10.99, which versus like $7 for 2 slices, right? The thing is, they have specialized slices when they make them at Whole Foods, and I like the way they make them. They put them in the oven, the brick oven fire thing or whatever it is. So I don't have that. I just have a regular oven. I don't get pizza that much. And this is a classic veggie pizza. It looks really good, but I really wanted the way they make it, especially the caramelized onion and the mushroom. But for $10, technically, I would get, say, 8 slices out of it. But the slices would be smaller. For instance, they do big slices there, so big, gigantic pies. This pie would be a little bit smaller, and then when you cut it down, but it would be like forcing for someone on a budget per se. You get more for your money, and that's part of what I experienced. There's like 50 million pieces to what I experienced beginning in 2011, but they will wean people into a serious budget, almost to the point where you're homeless. They will teach you and it's invisible, however they do it. They will teach you, buy this is what you're going to get from Amazon, and maybe your light will blink or something, or somehow you feel compelled to go to Buffalo Exchange, go here, go there. You need to exist in the city on the cheapest budget possible. Now, in some ways, some things are good. It's very good for people to learn how to spend their money and not spend too much to the wrong people, especially. And that's a good thing. But in a weird way, it becomes very controlling. All of a sudden, It's like, you know what, you need to try something you thought you didn't like. Like, you're 50 years old and you have someone else in the universe invisibly saying, I know you're going to love mango. You think you don't because you had a very specific type of mango from the frozen food section when it didn't taste as good. But say your order gets messed up or whatever. So the universe will find a way. Is that a new temple? Oh, the temple. Oh, right. Looks like a chevron-ish or anyway. Al coming in, get his little talons and everything. Catch the mice, right? So, but imagine, that your life, all control is relinquished to the point of like it's insanity. It's one thing to it's one thing to ensure that a population of people learns how to eat better, whatever it is, save their money. It's another when it becomes like totally crazy where you're like, wait, is there, now I can't even look at an ad for sodas without feeling like I'm going to throw up. You see what I mean? And like, you can't avoid seeing ads. Certain things will come up on my laptop and it's like, it gets really weird. And it's not like a food issue. It's not like someone who has had a food problem, whatever you call it, like anorexia. It's different. It's sort of in the realm of like, well, I am experiencing menopause, so maybe there's a nausea that goes with it, like an icky feeling, but it's too much correlated with seeing certain things on a computer or an ad or talking about something and being like, oh, I guess I'm not supposed to talk about whatever that is because I feel like, really gross right now. It's really strange. So anyway, that's sort of what it's like to have, to be in the position that I was in beginning in 2011. Someone's upset her. We have a lot to talk about. That's what my handler says. The whole justice system is about to crash because they're like, what if people are puppeted into positions and they really can't control what they do? They can't control what's going on. And there's some people up there who flipped out. Maybe they jump on a car looking like a Michael Jackson video. What if somebody else puppeted him into that position? I'm not here to say that that's the case. I'm just saying, how are people convinced to buy guns? Who convinced that? Who convinced that person to buy a gun? Say, I'm just looking at the recent case. This is the most recent story I can think of. But you know what I mean? Say other things are at play in the universe, and there are plenty of people, and they're like, I have no idea where when I get angry, I get really angry. You know what I mean? And not everybody wants to. You see what I mean? And what's causing it? What's causing one person to have more of a temper other than childhood traumas and someone having, say, PTSD or whatever it may be? In fact, even that's a pain in the ass because how much space do you have to get through? And I just hit my elbow on it. So I consider this place a problem already because they don't offer enough space on the sidewalk for people to get through. But anyway, that's just a little topic, food for thought, topic of discussion, what have you. Do you get that? So she would see them as part of the Manson family. Luckily, there wasn't a car coming, but I already saw in the corner of my eye that there wasn't. So, but it could happen. I've seen people distract people big time, and then they wind up getting hit by a car. Miami Heat over there, the hoops. So we'll head on, go this way. Here we are, game board, black and white. We have an opal white Tesla and a black, sort of like, almost look like a faded black Cadillac. I already know who this is in reference to, but they're hanging out here by 1515. I used to walk a dog named Spencer here, and I did a lot of overnights here. The longest bout of overnights that I would have done here, and it would have been about 6 floors up here, would be about 10 nights was probably the longest stretch where if they were going on like an Alaskan cruise. I think they went on once, and that was the longest one. Wow. Over here, this would make me think of a cousin and his wife. So I think my cousins who grew up in West Palm Beach, their dad might have had a Cadillac at some point. Not like this. They didn't have cars like that back then. It would have been your normal like sedanish Cadillac. But That's a Cadillac. The Opel Tesla. His wife has an opal-ish white Lexus. So I'm kind of curious why they put it there. It's next to State Liquors, but I would see like, oh, were they trying to spy on? They lived in West Palm Beach, and in fact, the people who lived up here, they've since sold it. The husband passed away, and they live in West Palm Beach. So, but my cousin lived there first, I believe. These other people might have moved there. I'm not sure why or when, but we have some black and white cars in here. It looks like a checkerboard. Looks like a game board, kind of. So black, white, charcoal gray, blue, and white. Yeah, checkmate, and then over here, I keep wanting to say something, and it's being taken out for me, but it looks like a chessboard over here. And of course, Klein Spector office way up there. That's Klein and Spector law firm. They happen just to have more commercials than most law firms. And of course, Arlen Spector was a senator for many, many years. He's passed away in Philadelphia. And in fact, oddly, there was that movie Whistleblower back in like 2011, 12, or 13. It was 11 or 12. I met up with a friend of mine to see a different movie that was playing at the same place, The Ritz at the Bourse. Guess who was there, having come out of that? On the grill, there was one yellow painted like section of the grill, which would look like a tooth missing. So teeth missing seems to be a theme going on in my family-ish. My Aunt Jane lost a tooth while my mom was in hospice care. My sister lost a tooth or two. And there's all kinds of reasons, stress, so forth and so on. And we'll just, here's a Lexus back here, like a regular white one, and then a maroon Subaru, or hold on, it looks like a Subaru similar. But anyway, it's actually a Hyundai Tucson KGZ with a diamond-studded plate here by Chipotle Chicken, or Chipotle, whatever it is. But Arlen Spector and his wife, petite blonde, we're sitting on a bench, or I sat down on a bench right at the top level before you would go down the escalators in Ritz at the Bourse. And I was waiting for my friend Walter, and this man sits next to me, and he was, older, and I think he needed to sit down and take a break. And his wife came up to him and she said, Arlen, or no, she had him sit down. Arlen, sit here for a second. And I'm wondering if they knew who I was because of what started in 2011. It was a big deal. I know I don't think I'm all that in a bag of chips, but I know what happened was big time. And I am somebody messed with the universe, and I have never seen such a thing. It's way beyond like what a normal person really is supposed to experience, I think. So in the realm of, that is whack. The whole universe went into slow motion. It's not just PTSD. It is like watching people being puppeted. That is whack. People parading around on purpose, orchestrated, timed, and everything else. I don't know what to say. R.I.P. Norm. So this guy's got the time warp, vortex, and everything else. And Rumble over here. So anyway, Arlen Spector and his wife sat down next to me. I didn't know them at all, but I did show up to a panel that they had at the Wharton School of Business. Hi, Mark, how are you? So Mark, the character there, used to live next door to me. For many years, I would be a little bit agitated because he would always sit outside. But now, I guess the air is cleared and everybody's okay with each other magically. So anyway, point being, I didn't know Arlen Spector. He did a special question and answer panel. He participated on a panel at the Wharton School of Business. I learned about it because of NPR. So NPR always has these things like, come on out, come down to the Constitution Center. Kennedy was there for question and answer. In fact, he just said he dropped his bid for the Democratic Party, running for it. He's going to run as an independent. He's the guy, he brought up the word Commonwealth. And that's the first time I learned about, I'm like, oh, Commonwealth. Like, you have parks for the Commonwealth, this, that, and the other. And now we have Commonwealth Joe Coffee. They do have a location in Virginia, but they're delivering to office spaces. It's become like a thing. Get your Commonwealth Joe, Commonwealth Joe, Commonwealth Joe, Commonwealth Joe. But this is, I guess, early 2000s, earlier mid 2000s. I can't remember. But I went to the Constitution Center and saw a debate between, is it Robert Kennedy? I forget the names of all the, but whoever is running on the independent ticket now. And skinny guy, he's like thinner. And he was debating someone from the Republican side, like the Commonwealth for the people versus your free enterprise capitalistic system or what have you, like the overly capitalist system. So that's when I learned about the word Commonwealth. These types of conversations would have never come up in my childhood at any house whatsoever. So, and nobody was overly political. It would just be your normal suburban talk, like, well, I'm going to vote for so-and-so because so-and-so is So, and in Delaware, oddly, everyone was Republican for some reason, even though technically Delaware is considered Democratic, which is fascinating because somehow the circles that I was born into or whatever, everyone was technically already Republican. I don't know. I'm not sure what to say. It's very conservative as far as I'm concerned, Delaware. So even Biden is probably on the conservative-ish side, I guess. No, he's not. Okay, I'm getting, oh, hell no. He's kind of left all the way. So anyway, that's the word on the street. But I don't know what to say. I stay away from politics at this point in time because of what happened, and I no longer vote because of what happened. So thank you so much. I'll see you on the flip side. Appreciate it. I hope everything's okay with you, Joe, and whoever else might have stopped in. And I'll see you later. Just a minute? Okay. Okay. So back on really quick. Hopefully this pizza didn't sag too much. It's the pizza that I got is refrigerated. It's like half baked, or like it's just made so that you bake it and then they wrap it but it's more refrigerated temperature as frozen. So I'll stick it in the oven and, give it a try and hopefully it's okay. So thank you so much. Have a great day and keep warm tonight. I'll be sleeping home tonight. Yay. Thank you. As long as the airplane